The bomb has detonated in Buffalo. A move that could completely change the Bills' fate in 2025 is being called for across the NFL, and you'll understand now that this is the most critical and exciting moment of the offseason. A star player's name is on the line. The pressure is mounting behind the scenes, and the franchise's future could be about to enter an explosive new chapter. Buffalo, get ready, because this isn't just another offseason mess. This is the kind of situation that could turn the entire AFC upside down. Analysts, insiders, and former NFL coaches are all focused on one name, Micah Parsons, and they're all pointing in the same direction. Buffalo needs to act, and it needs to act now. What began as rumors of internal tension in Dallas has exploded into what many expect to be a full-blown crisis. According to The Athletic, Parsons' relationship with the Cowboys has deteriorated to the point where the all-pro linebacker isn't as eager for a trade, and he's also informed the team that he's cutting emotional and professional ties. He's showing up at training camp in Oxnard, California, but let's be clear, he's not practicing. He's not putting on pads. He's not lining up with his teammates. And things are even more intense off the field. Every day, Cowboys fans chanted, "Pay Micah," in Jerry Jones's direction, essentially begging for time to secure his generational talent. But Jones, a seasoned artist in contractual stalemates, hasn't budged. In the past, he's held firm until the last second, waiting until just before the regular season to re-sign stars like Ezekiel Elliott, Dak Prescott, and most recently, CeeDee Lamb. But this time feels different. This isn't just a tough negotiation. It's a showdown, and Parsons seems fed up. He's set to earn $24 million this season, the final year of his contract. But for a player of his caliber, a career All-Pro, that figure seems insulting. More importantly, the situation is getting worse, and the Cowboys may be ready to make a move they never imagined, trading their most explosive defensive weapon. And that's where the Buffalo Bills come in. Former NFL coach and ESPN analyst Herm Edwards didn't hesitate when asked who should be the first to call. "It's the Buffalo Bills," he said. "They have the same mission as everyone else in the AFC. Beat the Chiefs. And how do you do that? You hit Mahomes. You take him down." Parsons gives them that chance. He's absolutely right. While the Bills already made some noise this offseason, signing five-time Pro Bowler Joey Bosa to bolster their offense, pairing Bosa with Micah Parsons instantly transformed Buffalo's defense into one of the most feared in the league. It wouldn't just be an improvement. It would be a statement. It would be Buffalo announcing to the world, "We're not just trying to compete. We're chasing a crown." Even talented young defenders like Greg Rousseau would likely step aside to make room for a force like Parsons. His quickness, explosiveness, and relentless motor make him a nightmare for quarterbacks and offensive coordinators. What if the mission to finally break through the playoff wall Patrick Mahomes has built in the AFC? Perhaps there's no better way to help Buffalo achieve that. ESPN's Dan Graziano reinforced the point. Players like Micah just don't come on the market. If he's available, you go after him. He could be a piece that puts Buffalo over the top, a piece that ends the Super Bowl drought. It's not as if the Bills haven't tried this formula before. In 2022, they bet big on Von Miller, hoping the veteran could be the final ingredient. But age and injuries got in the way, and the plan never came to fruition. Parsons, however, is a completely different story. At just 26, he's not just in his prime, he's probably still improving. He has everything you'd expect from a defensive cornerstone. Fast, aggressive, smart, and fearless. He's respected in the locker room and feared on the field, and he still wants to win. But clearly, something has changed in Dallas. A few weeks ago, he told reporters, "I want to be here." But now, Tom has changed. Body language speaks louder than words. He's distant, detached. And if Brandon Beane is the aggressive, future-focused general manager we think he is, now is the time to go all in. Because Parsons won't be on the market forever. And if Buffalo doesn't act, you can bet that times like the Ravens, Bengals, Jets, and Dolphins are watching. But picture this. Bosa on one side, Parsons on the other, Ed Oliver in the middle. That's not a front court. It's a wrecking crew. That's how you beat Mahomes. That's how you dominate the AFC. And just when you think the Bills couldn't get any more aggressive, what if we told you they're also considering a potential blockbuster deal for a Pro Bowl wide receiver who just requested a trade? Just when Bills fans were wrong that the offseason couldn't get any more dramatic after Micah Parsons' bombshell, another elite talent has officially entered the trade market. And this time, it's an experimental weapon who could completely elevate Josh Allen's arsenal. Terry McLaurin, a two-time Pro Bowler and one of the NFL's most quietly dominant wide receivers, has requested a trade from the Washington Commanders. And suddenly, the Buffalo Bills find themselves on the verge of another high-stakes opportunity. McLaurin is entering the final year of a 3-year extension signed in 2022. For months, contract negotiations with the Commanders have been stalled. But according to Jordan Schultz, the situation has worsened. McLaurin is now officially requesting a trade. The timing? Impeccable. The fit with Buffalo? Practically perfect. Let's talk numbers, because they matter. Since entering the league as a third-round pick out of Ohio State in 2019, McLaurin has recorded over 900 receptions annually, a level of consistency few few receivers can match. In 2024, he had his most dominant campaign to date, 82 receptions for 1,096 yards and 13 touchdowns, all while helping rookie quarterback Jaden Daniels win Offensive Rookie of the Year. And that's not just production. It's leadership, the ability to make big plays, and the kind of presence Buffalo has quietly missed since Stephon Diggs' departure. Of course, the Bills proved last season that they can win without a traditional WR1. They relied on a spread attack and saw young players like Keon Coleman emerge as promising contributions in training camp. Josh Palmer, acquired in the offseason, has already drawn praise from Allen and the coaching staff, but there's a huge difference between having good options and drafting a game-changing WR1. McLaurin is the latter. His route running is refined, his separation from the line is elite, and his deep speed is exactly what Allen's powerful arm values. Imagine McLaurin stretching the field vertically, forcing the safeties to play deeper, opening up space for Coleman, Dalton Kincaid, and James Cook. That's the kind of strategic impact that goes beyond statistics. It changes defensive schemes. It gives Buffalo a new identity. But here's the problem. He won't come cheap. Earlier this offseason, the Cowboys had to part with a third-round pick to acquire George Pickens, a winner with far less of a track record than McLaurin. That decision set a precedent. Given McLaurin's consistent production, his leadership, and his current contract year, the Commanders will likely want a second-round pick, or even higher. But general manager Brandon Beane has never hesitated to invest capital when necessary. And if this season truly isn't Super Bowl or bust, then now is the time to put those chips on the table. Let's also talk scheme. In Joe Brady's offense, McLaurin is more than just a fit. He's the missing piece. His ability to operate outside the numbers, challenge cornerbacks on island routes, and overcome zone coverage in the middle gives Brady the flexibility to move other pieces. He's not just another receiver. He's a weapon who demands attention. And with Allen's chemistry-first approach, McLaurin can fit in immediately and produce as if he's been in the system for years. It's not just about stats. It's about confidence, about decisive moments in critical matchups. Think about how many AFC battles in recent years have come down to a big throw, a breakaway route, an extra inch in the red zone. McLaurin gives you those inches. He gives you an edge. And when you combine that with the possibility of acquiring Micah Parsons, the conversation around Buffalo completely changes. The Bills are no longer just another AFC contender. They've become the aggressor, the one nobody wants to face. With Parsons disrupting quarterbacks and McLaurin destroying secondaries, the balance of power in the conference could shift significantly. The 2025 season isn't just shaping up as a playoff race. It's starting to look like a campaign for dominance. But it all depends on what Buffalo does next. Will they take a risk? Will they double down this season? One thing is certain. The rest of the NFL is watching. And if Brandon Beane plays his part, Buffalo will not only be in contention, but will also lead the offense. If the Bills have a real chance of adding Micah Parsons to dominate defensively and Terry McLaurin to ignite the offense, what else is left for Buffalo to finally break the curse and win the long-awaited Super Bowl? Leave your opinion here. Don't forget to leave your like and subscribe to the channel, but later I will come back to update you with the latest news from Buffalo Bills.